welcome to News 9 Digital. I'm Pratibha. Thank you for joining me live today. The motion poster of a movie 800 on Muthaiya Muralitharan, the Sri Lankan cricketer, created quite a storm in Tamil Nadu. And a few days of outrage later, the key protagonist actor Vijay Sethupathi has decided to bow out and he has let go of the project. This after the Sri Lankan cricketer himself came out and said that he doesn't want to be a roadblock in the career of Vijay Sethupathi, so he should bow out of the movie, and that's what has happened. Just a few days before that, the Sri Lankan cricketer had also asked if it is his fault that he was born a Sri Lankan Tamil. For those who don't know yet, for the uninitiated, the controversy started with the actor playing Muthaiya Muralitharan, with several in Tamil Nadu claiming that he has insulted Tamils. Muthaiya Muralitharan had not spoken up during the civil war in Sri Lanka, and viewing that as anti-Tamil, did not want the movie. There were several appeals that were made by the movie makers as well, that this was purely a sports story. It had nothing to do with his political leanings. It was a tremendous sports story that needs to be told to people, and that's the reason why this movie was made. But this fell on deaf ears, and the outrage continued. In fact, several from the Tamil industry also appealed to Vijay Sethupathi to bow out of the movie, and finally it happened. He has decided to quit the movie, and well, that's what has happened. So the bigger question being, this of course is not the very first time that we are facing an issue like this. Outrage, especially that on social media, has been witnessed over the past few days especially, but clearly it's not a very recent phenomenon. To talk more about this, on what this means, what should be done, joining us live is Mr. Prakash Belawadi, a renowned actor, one of the finest actors of the country, somebody who has also faced quite a similar controversy with his movie Madras Cafe as well, that was also that was also centered around the Sri Lankan strife as well as the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. Mr. Prakash Belawadi, many thanks for joining us. This is a controversy that has been raging for quite a while. You know, what is your take on it? You've said a movie like this, especially one that causes outrage like this, should be made. Does this give out an indication that we are now bowing down to any kind of pressure?
You know, we always had these problems that censorship in this country need not necessarily come from government agencies. It can come from just about anybody. Anybody can create a pressure group and just have the film blocked. When Shujit Sarkar made Madras Cafe, you know, actually I was called to your own channel to discuss, you know, why the you know, some people in Tamil Nadu were protesting against the film and why they wanted it banned. And the Tamil Nadu government just banned it, you know.
Yes.
So anyway, and when they would call me to your studio, and they had two, you know, a lawyer and somebody who came to talk for the Tamil cause, and we had this big and discussion, because they were saying strange things. I said, "Have you seen the film?" They said no.
Yes.
So I told the anchor, "Look, I'm not willing to talk to these people." You know, because it wasn't even serious to me. I'll give you an example in this case, in the Muralitharan case. See, I feel bad for the actor. She's a rising star in you know, in Tamil, you know, Vijay Sethupathi, and he's a big name, and it would have been a really challenging role for him to play. And his initial response indicated that he was very excited about it. You know, it is typical of Murali's generosity and gentleness, that he said, you know, no, you're a big star. I don't want you to spoil your career with this. Please back out. He told him. And he backed out. But I will tell you, if I mean, as a South Indian, I feel for Muralitharan. And if you give me 2 minutes, I'll explain why I feel so strongly about this.
Yes.
See, Muralitharan actually does not belong, is not part of the Elam Tamils. Okay. See, Elam Tamils are actually Tamils who have been in Sri Lanka for 2,000 years. You know, some recent genetic studies suggest that, you know, their genes and the Sinhala genes there are very close. So ethnically, they're very close to the Sinhala people, actually.
Okay.
You forget the fact that they fought, but they're ethnically close. And there is a kind of, not like the Indian caste system, but there is a kind of caste system prevailing even among the Tamil groups in northern Sri Lanka, northeast Sri Lanka, which is, where Jaffna where is the center. Okay? Now, these are the people who have fought for the Tamil. It started actually only as a linguistic dispute first, because in 1955, Bandaranaike, Sirima's father, Solomon Bandaranaike, declared that Sinhala will be the official language. I mean, this is a lesson to learn. Anybody who wants to impose a language on another person, on other people, see what it can result in, Actually, that is what led to the Sinhala-Tamil conflict initially in Sri Lanka. Okay? But it also assumed kind of strange, caste, ethnic overtones also later. Okay? The thing is, Murali is not part of that Tamil, that set of communities. He actually is the descendant of bonded laborers who were rounded up from South India during the British time and taken to work and put to work in tea plantations and other plantations in Sri Lanka. And he is actually descended from them. And in 1948, when Sri Lanka became, it was Ceylon, when they got independence from the British, they made a decision not to recognize these Tamils. They're called as estate Tamils or hill Tamils or plantation Tamils, such like upcountry Tamils.
Okay.
They were not. The Sri Lanka refused to recognize them as material citizens. They said, "You are not one of us.
Okay.
You are Indian Tamils, so you should do whatever you like." And they were not given citizenship.
Right.
After Ceylon got independence, okay, and when they in their statelessness, just like what has happened, many of them moved to north to ship with these Elam Tamils.
Absolutely.
The Elam Tamils looked down upon them. I must tell you something very shocking. In 1948, when these Tamils were not given citizenship, in Elam Tamil, actually support the Sri Lankan government.
Right, but more than their lineage aside, like you said, that's something that should be considered as well. But more than anything else, the issue is that firstly, Muthiah Muralitharan is someone who has not openly spoken up in favor of the Sri Lankan government. There seems to be some anger brewing against him. But more than that, the fact that this movie is about his sporting career, the makers have made it clear that it's about that, and the hate doesn't even seem to be directed towards him, but instead it's directed towards Vijay Sethupathi, an actor who's portraying that movie. Some also believe that in Tamil Nadu this is a topic that's too sensitive, that should not be taken up as well. With the Sri Lankan Tamils concerned, but it's not even about the sensitive topic, because this is a movie that's on a completely different subject. The issue seems to be just that he is a Sri Lankan Tamil and a Tamil actor is ready to portray him. So that in itself, brewing so much hate in Tamil Nadu, isn't that quite startling? Mr. Prakash, are you with us? All right. We've lost a connection there with Mr. Prakash Belawadi, but he told his views. This is a movie this is a story that needs to be told. This is something that people should know, and this has happened quite often as well. We saw it happen with Madras Cafe. This is not a very recent phenomena that we're seeing. This hate has now, of course, been proposed much more on social media. Now finally the actor has bowed out to the movie as well. But this is something to think about. If hate is being mainstreamed, if actors bowing out, would there be no end to it? Today somebody gets offended by this, tomorrow it would be something else. Now, would a few fringe groups define what we are to see and what not? Finally, if the movie is made, it's for the people to decide. And several have spoken of this as well, of whether a movie is being made, then it's up to the people to decide whether they want to watch a movie or not. If there are certain people who are offended by it, then they should not go to the movies and watch it. Well, the controversy came to an end with Vijay Sethupathi bowing out, but there are several questions that remain unanswered. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comment section as well what you think. This is a very thin line between not offending someone, the freedom of speech and artistic freedom as well on one hand. On the other hand, several also believe that artistic freedom should be curtailed in certain ways if it can hurt religious feelings or feelings of people, as something that we saw during Padmavat as well. I look forward to your comments on that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to Newsland Digital. Thank you for watching. Take care.